I'm here to help as much as I can, share my experience. In this video, I'm talking about Chris Nolan and our over-reliance on technology. So what can we learn from the amazing, wonderful, fantastic, singular director that is Chris Nolan? What can we learn? There's many things we can learn. I mean, first of all, his films are breathtaking, beautiful. His themes are based on time, and they're just stunning to watch, and the plot and the story and the characters, the worlds that are created within it, it's just so immersive, right? I mean, he's probably my favourite filmmaker. No one else is doing work on the scale that he is, right? And he likes to use like old school in a way technology. He relies on IMAX for all his films. He has original ideas that probably Hollywood hasn't ever made, or many of his ideas are so original and they come from his brain, and his brain is uncluttered because he doesn't rely on technology, right? So when we think about this, the modern world that we all live in, we're all glued to our phones, we're all on our phones all day, every day, right? And what you can glean from his experience, Christopher Nolan, is the fact that he doesn't rely on technology, okay? He doesn't even have an email address. He doesn't carry around a smartphone. He's not glued to his phone. He doesn't wake up in the morning on his phone. He's not going to bed at night on his phone. He does things the old school way, not digital, analog, right? When he makes his films as well, he is relying on camera, and he is relying on film mainly, and not trying to use digital, or trying to use digital as little as possible, and practical effects, in-camera effects, as opposed to CGI, computer generated, to give that authenticity, to make it feel real. The world that you're watching is real, not like a lot of overproduced blockbusters where the films don't feel real and the worlds are so gigantic and enormous, but at the same time, worlds can't be created unless you use those effects, right? So he relies on a very unconventional, by modern standards, way of thinking when it comes to filmmaking and to life as well. And what's so beautiful about this is that he is probably more in the moment than a lot of people are. What do I mean by more in the moment? Well, when we're distracted by our phone, our brain is not meant to process thousands and thousands and thousands of different decisions and that are outside of our normal thousands of decisions that we have to process every day or think about every day, right? So when we're looking at the phone, our attention is grabbed every 10 seconds. There's another video, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. It's a lot, right? So he stays away from that. To the point that he won't let the actors who he wants to be in his movies look at the script unless he is there in person. They go to his house, he goes to their house, whatever. He has the script, he gives it to you. You're in a room, locked away effectively, right? But you're in a room, you read the script from start to finish. That's what he does with his actors. And that is because A, he doesn't want the script getting into the wrong hands. He spent a lot of time and energy writing story. And B, it's a way to get feedback in real and to have an experience where you're connecting to the actor, connecting to the other filmmakers and storytellers that you're working with on that production, right? And he does that. And not by email, so it can't get hacked, it can't get sold, it can't get stolen. Alright? Now we think about that. Think about that approach. What can we learn from that approach? How can we apply it to our own lives? We can stop using our phone as much as we are. We can reduce the screen time that we're in. He's in a privileged position where he's got an assistant, most likely, who takes care of emails and things of that nature for him, right? And he's built and he's worked himself into that position. So how can we apply some of his principles to our modern life to be more present? I think if you start using your phone an hour less a day or 2 hours less a day, would you feel less cluttered? Would you have more energy mentally, physically? You'd be able to have greater conversations with your friends and family or people you meet. in a coffee shop, for example, if you were talking to someone or you struck up a conversation over something that you both admire or like that brings you together. Nolan movies. And when you start to think about this and become less cluttered, we can certainly use the internet less, we can certainly use social media less. It has its benefits, of course it does. I'm hoping to inspire and entertain, hopefully, at the same time, and educate at the same time with this video. And whoever's watching on the other side of this, I appreciate it. And I realise without that, I wouldn't be able to do this, right? Without the internet, I wouldn't be able to put my message out there and put my videos on the internet and experiment and do this whole online game, right? At the same time, we need to watch how much we're taking in, what we're taking in specifically. And Christopher Nolan's approach certainly would make him more in the moment, be able to make better decisions, because less anxiety, less stressed, because you're not bombarded with all the information. You can focus on the task at hand. You can get into a flow state easier and quicker. You're less distracted. You have a greater sense of purpose. You're probably more joy, more fulfillment, more energy, sleep better, feel better within your body, physically more active. So how do we apply those principles? We can get out into nature, we can take more short breaks from our phone, and we can just go for a walk without our phone, without listening to anything, even listening to a podcast or listening to music. Just get out and walk for 15-20 minutes or 30 minutes. Get out into nature. Connect again with the greater world at large, right? We can write. We can write down what we want, how are we going to achieve it, when are we going to achieve it, what things are important to us, and at the same time we can write down what we don't want and what things we want to change in our life and what things we want to extract or stop doing, and what things can we add and replace those negative behaviours and habits that we've got, right? And we can also journal. Writing daily is one of the best things, one of the best habits that I've so I started journaling about 3.5 years ago, and I haven't always been as consistent as I wanted to be, but I have journaled for a year straight in that time, and I find my mental health is better, my energy is better, I'm able to connect with my friends and family easier, I am more present in the room, wherever I am, I've got a great sense of purpose. And when I journal, when I get my thoughts out of my head, and I start to see patterns, and then you start to see what you're doing daily, and you start to question yourself, and question in a good way, in a positive way, in a meticulous way, right? Where you get to, what things did I do today? Did I follow my dream? Did I make progress towards my goals? Did I falter? Did I make some bad decisions? Did I negatively impact myself or anyone else? How can I change that? What can I do better tomorrow? What can I do better next week? How can I move forwards? What am I going to do tomorrow? What 3 things am I going to focus on tomorrow that need to get done? A, I want to work out. B, I've got an hour's writing to do. And C, I need to upload a video to YouTube. There you go. That's just 3 examples. If you get those 3 done, then that day's been a success. And if you get anything else done on top of that, any more reading or learning or anything that's going to help you, then sure, add it in. And then you can start seeing in a calendar what you're doing. You can look back at your journal, you can see your planner, you can see my habit tracker. I can see exactly what I'm doing on a daily basis to advance myself or that took away from where I want to be. When you start doing this, things start to change for you. When you start writing, your life will open up. You'll get to know yourself better, you'll get to know your problems better, you'll get to know the solution to those problems better. Right? And all from potentially using the internet a little bit less. Maybe just an hour less a day. Just try that. Alright? If Nolan can go through his whole life without any internet usage from himself, no smartphone, no email, think about that. And maybe you don't want to go that far, but think about take an hour less a day 45 minutes less a day, 2 hours less a day, and think about, you focus on your goals and the structure and writing and planning and building and visualizing and meticulously creating a plan for your life, a goal that you want to achieve, or many goals that you want to achieve. You might have multiple. Quit your job and make 10k a month, travel, help people, start a charity, right? Give value to the world, share your experiences. There's many things we can do, right? So a little bit less on the phone and a little bit more planning in real life. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe and share, and I will see you in the next one.